Well, I guess what you were starting to say a few minutes ago was that line between news and sales is something that has been respected for decades,
Right.
and still is, but
When you talk about sort of ethical issues, I mean, okay, so I'm the GM. So I am ultimately responsible for all the revenue, all the ratings, and more importantly, the reputation of the station. And most of my sort of ethical issues either are people related or they are content versus sales related. The people stuff, you work with HR, you figure it out whether you're managing people out or you're trying to renegotiate a contract or you're dealing with union issues. Most of that has a pretty clear line to it. It's either right or wrong, and you do the best you can for your employees moving forward. The content sales piece of it is a lot more squishy. And yes, there's a very distinct line between your news product and what you sell. But in this day and age, those lines have come much closer together. We do an advertorial show. We call it a sales-friendly show, where we let advertisers actually buy segments. But it's very clearly stated at the top of the show, at each segment, and at the end of the show. So that's very clear. Where it gets murkier is, well, here's an example. Okay, you have a car dealer. So let's just say they spend $500,000 a year on your station. That's a big buy. So they spend $500,000 a year on your station. They've been a loyal client for 10 years. Good guys, you've had drinks with them, you've brought them to the Cavs game, so you have a personal relationship with them and certainly a business relationship with them. So they just signed their new annual deal, $500,000, yay! And 2 weeks later, your investigative team finds out that they've been scamming customers. They've been double billing for something. So, first thing you do is you get a call from the owner of the car company, and he says, hey, listen, I gotta tell you, your guys are poking around over here, and there's really not a story. There's a couple of disgruntled former employees that are stirring this up, and I have to tell you there's not a real story. So, Bob, what are you asking me? Well, I'm asking you to kill the story. What do I do?